Stage is starting. All right. Ryan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can.
All right.
Let's start this.
Here we fucking go.
Ah, you fool. We have a swear jar in this server. It costs $1 million for every F-bomb. So thank you. I'm retiring.
I think it's not US dollars. We're all going to pay in some other type of.
Dogecoin. 1 million Dogecoin.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Remember that? Remember all these things, this fleeting amounts of time. Well, good to talk to you in real life. I've followed, your obsession with real estate for some time. And this will be fun.
Likewise, sir. Likewise. So I'm going to break this down here. Okay. It's just going to be a Q&A, Ryan. We've generated a couple great questions from our community and a couple terrible questions. Too.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to try and get to as many as possible. But I'm going to kick this off right at the start here with rapid fire. I want you to just answer these questions and not think about them. Okay? First, Macy's or JCPenney?
Macy's.
Good. Beans or French fries?
French fries.
Okay. What is your social security number?
11.
Almost had you there. Almost, man. Almost. Almost had it all. All right. So
almost.
We'll kick it off here right at the top, man. So Austin Barron, who's one of our server mods here, he had the first question when this went up 20 days ago. He says this: I read your book, big fan, sell it like Serhant. If you were to create a 1-month game plan for success for a brand new agent with no experience and a small sphere of friends, what would you do and why? Thank you. It's a lot to answer in one, but you want to maybe distill it down into a couple activities you would focus on?
Yeah, sure. So listen, a couple of things, okay? One, we do our whole course for that exact question because it's not just one thing; it's a lot of things. And I would say that you need to first think about and understand the day you get into this business, your whole life doesn't change. Okay? Your life will change in 3 years. For the next 3 years, it's going to be hard and it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be fun. You're going to be busy, but you're going to quit a couple times a week. You're going to lose money. You're not going to understand why you're not getting that paycheck. You're not going to understand why that other person does all those deals and you're not, because that person sucks. They're stupid, but you're so much smarter. This business doesn't make sense. This business isn't fair. I don't want to do this anymore. That's going to happen to you time and time and time and time and time again. The next 3 years, if you're brand new to this business, is grad school. Or if you didn't go to undergrad school, it's 3 years of undergrad. It is your time to learn, to listen, to really kind of work for free. And if you make money, bonus. You probably will, okay? Because by default, when you put in the work in this business, you can take out of it. But you are not in this right now to make money. You'll make money later. Okay? Think about doctors, like residency programs, 8 years in school before they make any money. And most salespeople get their license and they're like, where's my millions? Where's my money? This sucks. I'm out. That's why the turnover rate for real estate agents is like 82% in the first 12 months. Because people have this weird expectation that it should be easy when it really, really, really isn't. But the good news is that you don't have to be as smart as a doctor or as a lawyer. You just got to put in the work. And if you put in the work will take care of you. So one, set that thing in your calendar. If you're getting into business today, do not expect to make real money, okay, and start having real success until September 22nd, 2024. If you hit that before then, awesome, great. Okay, don't slow down. But if you don't hit real success for the first 3 years, don't stress out. 2, it is really, really hard to do this completely by yourself. So either find people you can partner up with on deals, find training programs, find community groups, just like this. I mean, like ActuallyAgents, it's a meme account, but it is a like-minded group of entrepreneurial individuals who like certain things, like real estate. And we can all learn a lot from each other, which is why stuff like this is really, really cool and super helpful. So surround yourself with people who know more than you do, learn and listen. If you're in an atmosphere where you could join a team, I'm always a big fan of joining a real estate team, at least for the first couple years, so you can learn, see how they email, see how they talk to brokers, see how they list things, see how they represent buyers, see what happens when an inspection falls to shit, right? As they go through everything. Importantly, hey, your goal, and we do this, we call it the 3-5 rule here. Your goal is to meet as many new people every day as possible. If that's 2 people, okay. If it's 15, awesome. Your job isn't to show homes, and it's not to make money. Your job for these next 3 years is to meet as many people as you can, whether it's through social media, in person, at school, at the gym, at the coffee shop, whatever it is, right? Because imagine if you just met 5 new people every day, okay? That's your job. All you have to do to make a living is meet 5 people a day. That's your job, right? Times 3 years, okay? I mean, you're going to have added 5,500 people to your contact list that you otherwise never would have added. All those people are going to see what you do on social. They're all going to get your newsletter. They're all going to get your updates. They're all going to know who you are, and they're all going to give you business. And all you had to do was say hi. Insane. Like, those are the first things to think about. I could talk about this for years, but I'm sure there's other questions.
No, I think that's all great stuff, and it kind of mirrors where I was at when I started. I mean, it took me 2 years to leave the restaurant industry while I was, that was all weekend work, and then during the week I was trying to hustle and make it happen in the sales world. So that speaks to me a lot. Were you, when you started, did you have a side hustle?
I was hand modeling.
Hand modeling.
How do you not know this? I feel like you're in my life.
Wow, listen.
Photos, everything.
Listen, man. Of course, yes, I have the shrine of you on my closet and the picture on my desk and all those personal texts that you send me, but maybe people listening don't know what you were doing. So it's
Google Ryan Serhant hand model. And it is a weird trip down memory lane for me in my early 20s.
Make sure you do it in incognito mode if you don't want to ask and get any questions from your family.
Yeah. I moved to New York. My grandfather died, left me like 20 grand. And I'd had a few $1,000s saved up from like summer jobs and stuff that I didn't spend when I was in college. And that was it. And I just made a commitment to myself that I didn't want to be a bartender. I didn't want to be a waiter. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to temp. Like, if I did any of that, I wasn't the type of person who I was nervous that I would fall back on my survival job and not actually make something of myself, because I would get too comfortable with the paycheck, and then I'd get comfortable complaining about the paycheck, and then I'd be 50. So I didn't give myself that option. I just kind of went right into New York City and said, all right, I'm going to do theater, film and TV if I can. Really hard to do, by the way. And then I couldn't make any money doing that. And so a casting agent has seen a photo of me where I like had my hand on my face, and they asked me if I wanted to go to this hand model audition for hands holding AT&T phones. And I thought it was a joke, but I went anyway. And there's this like underbelly of parts models, like foot models, elbow models, hand models, ear models, hair models, like all the different parts, just not the face. In New York City and Los Angeles, who make like, $150 to $350 an hour, letting people take photos of their fingers. And it was totally wild. And I thought it was a total waste of my time, but I let them take a photo of my hands holding a phone, and I left. The next day, I get a call, and they're like, "You have the most beautiful hands we've seen." And I was like, "Shut the fuck up." And they cast me, and I held phones in this award-winning ad campaign for AT&T for 2 years. And then I started holding Nespresso capsules and like iPhones and watches. And I just made the most money I made my first 2 years in real estate was not from selling real estate. It was from doing hand jobs. Hey,
I love that there's a seedy underbelly of parts models in New York City, because it really, for people who don't want to put in the work with real estate, at least if you have pretty ears, there might be a future.
Exactly.
So opportunities are
that's what I did
endless.
early on, until the real estate thing started really. I couldn't justify sitting around and letting people take photo of my hands
Yeah.
for a day. But listen, like I would, like I have another job. I would hold phones for 10 hours, okay, during a day, and they paid me $150 a day. Like that was my rent in one day. And I could do whatever I wanted the rest of the month. And so I was really just trying to make money to pay my bills. The earlier in the month I could pay all my bills that I had budgeted myself for, that gave me the rest of the month to do whatever I wanted to make bonus money. Like the way I sort of saw it in my head was my base salary are my annual expenses. I just need to cover annual expenses. That's rent.
Your
plus
cost
food.
to live, right?
Yeah, exactly. What is your cost to live? And you know what's amazing to me? You could ask anyone on here, how much does your life cost in 1 year? I bet you no one on here is going to give you a specific number, because no one knows. No one thinks about it. They're going to like, well, my rent, or, oh, well, I guess my mortgage and this, I put it, or no, my monthly payments are about X, or, oh, no, my wife does that. Like, no one knows. Like, you got to know what your annual budget is. What does your life cost you? That is your base salary. Above that is your bonus to grow. And I've always just been very keyed into that. And it really, really helped me set goals early on.
Gotcha. Sorry, a couple people are having audio issues. So I got a little distracted there for a second. Guys, just restart the app if you have issues. Sorry about that, Ryan. Before we got into another question, I had something I wanted to ask you. So
you can ask anything. This is an open forum.
I can ask anything.
I'll be honest with you about anything.
Okay, so earlier in the day, we can neither confirm nor deny if it was you who posted this in the real estate general chat. Take it up with Puma. You said you might be giving away one signed copy of Big Money Energy, right?
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Well, listen, I'm psychologically compelled to sell. I'm wondering here, can we bump that up to 5?
Sure.
Wow, didn't even meet me in the middle or negotiate.
No problem, man. I want to give the gift of information to as many people as possible.
All right, Catch, get that giveaway up in the giveaway channel. Guys, if you want a chance to win one of those 5 books, just go to the giveaway channel under welcome and react to the post, and it'll automatically be decided before we end this conversation here. All right, so
I'm going to sign those books so well, you have no idea.
Oh yeah, and if you want to send them to me first to sign to, I don't know if that'll increase the value 50% or decrease the value really. All right, this is not from our community. This is a personal question I myself wanted to ask you. So people like us who are big on social media, we kind of can see through the curtain a little bit. No one's doing as well as they say they are, or nobody shares. I guess what I can distill this down to is nobody shares on social media that they have vicious diarrhea, right? Like they don't share that kind of stuff, or that they have problems in their personal life or anything like that. So I see someone like you who's just killing it in every single avenue, doing all these different ventures. I mean, it seems like you have a hand in everything and you're just killing it everywhere. Where are the pain points for you personally? And how do you identify those pain points and work to overcome them?
There's pain points everywhere. I mean, there's pain points in time management. There's pain points in everything. I mean, first and foremost, it's people, right? Hiring, that's one. So pain points in hiring, keeping people happy, giving people what they need, trying to figure out how to manage a business. If anyone has ever had to manage people, like there's no great book for it. I've looked for them, and they're all very, very niche to the industry that writer learned how to manage people in, and it's not that helpful. And people are very different now. Like post-COVID management of people is is really, really different, and it's hard. So there's lots of pain points around people. There's lots of pain points around, budgeting for business. What should I spend money on? What should I not spend money on? Scared money don't make money. Jay-Z said that. It's true.
Mhm.
You also have to be smart. So there's a lot of pain points there as well, because I just want to grow as fast as I can. There's also pain points with growth. Like I want to be as big as I want to be as big as I could possibly ever be, and it's never going to happen soon enough. And so, what should I do now? What should I not do now? Do we make a wrong mistake? Like, we make missteps all the time, and then backtrack, fix, keep moving on, or we own them and keep moving on anyway. There's deal pain points. I have a lot of people who work with me. We have a lot of lead flow. And, I have agents who work on those deals who drop the ball, or they don't say the right thing, or a deal dies. We have co-op boards in New York City. So you could sign a contract, put 10% down, but you might not even be allowed to buy it until you have an interview with the board in that building. And if they like the color of your face or they like your voice, then maybe they'll allow you to buy the apartment. Like, we have co-op board issues all the time. There's just a lot of logistical things. Like, whatever pain points you have now, you will always have them as you grow, except they'll just be higher quality pain points. So like the tightness with money will go away, but then you're going to have like the tightness with budgets. Okay? And then you're going to have the tightness with expenses. Like, shit, should I really do that? Is that what I should do? Like, if you have 2 people now on your team and you're trying to grow and you think that they're stressful and damn it, that person didn't do what you want them to do, imagine what it's like when you have 200. And it all comes down to clear and concise expectations and brutal honesty. Like, if I've learned anything, it's getting through pain. It's just a lot of times, you have difficult situations because someone on one side or another was not honest at some point. And that's a difficult lesson to learn.
Do you deal with these things as they come up, or do you have like a set time in your schedule where you dive in and examine your business and your workflows and how things are operating?
Yeah. So when I first got started and I didn't have a packed calendar every day, this is something we talk about in the course, where I created a system called FKD, right? Finder, Keeper, Doer, because it was really, it made me very anxious to wake up and not have anything in my calendar, because then what do? Like, I guess I could get on social. I guess I should make some calls. Do I go to the office? Like, what do I do? And there's really no bosses in our industry. If you're an entrepreneur, no matter what, you might have someone who's helping you, but you really don't have a boss. You can do whatever you want every day. And that's really freeing, until it's also really scary, because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what you're supposed to do to make money, right? To be successful.
Mhm.
So I wanted some structure and some discipline to my days that I could look forward to. And so I created FKD, Finder, Keeper, Doer, and I put it in my calendar. And what it meant was, from 8 to 9 or 8 to 10, okay, I was a finder of new business only. That was it. Anything else, fires, other calls, this, that, the other, you do not interrupt me at that time. I am there and I'm prospecting for new business, because the number one job of a salesperson is to generate leads. That is it. And so I'm finding new business left and right. I am making phone calls. I'm figuring out who I'm going to make phone calls to. I'm thinking about my business in a whole movement during that time, and trying to determine how I'm going to build it, how I'm going to grow, how I'm going to build the brand. Okay.
Mhm.
Then from, like, let's say 10 to 12 or 11 to 1, depending on if I have appointments that day or not, then I'm the keeper. So that's when I'm thinking about current business, managing current business, calling current sellers, touching base with current buyers, thinking about the money or the lack thereof. If during my finder time I decided that this week I'm going to take 5 people to dinner and network with them at a good spot, that keeper time is when I'm kind of setting that up and figuring out where I'm going to go and how to pay for it. If during my finder time I'm deciding I'm going to do mailers, direct mail is going to be my thing this week, my keeper time is when I'm budgeting that out and kind of getting all the addresses. And then the rest of my day is doer time. That's when you're doing all the work. So I'm, printing the letters and putting them in the envelopes. That's when I was out there doing the showings, knocking on the doors, dropping off the pitch packages, all of that stuff. I think that was really, really, really helpful for me. Now, I don't have my day structured that way anymore because I don't need to, but my head is forever stuck in that finder, keeper, doer mode. And I do think about things that way. So if problems arise or they're urgent, if they are immediately urgent, I will hire them because I will take care of them because I have to. I really try to really stick to the calendar. Like, listen, there are fires going on in my life right now that I should be taking care of. I've got a couple deals that are on fire, a couple agents that are upset. I got a couple sellers that are losing their minds. I got a bunch of things that I got to take care of right now, but this is in my calendar and I'm committed to it. I'm talking to you and this is great and this is awesome and people can wait. It's fine. 6:45, boom, I'll pick up the call and I'll pick up the phone and start making those calls.
Gotcha. Do you budget your personal time? I mean, I feel like if anyone would be susceptible to burnout, it would be someone operating at your level.
I unfortunately I do because I have to. Otherwise, it won't happen. Because I'm one of those people like I really like to work, and so it gives like purpose, to life, and I really like building things, and so I think it's nice. And so in my deal with my wife and the family is that two nights a week, I'm home before the baby goes to bed. We have one kid now; she's 2.5. I'm home before she goes to bed, and I get to see her. I'll help her with bath time, help put her down, and then I can go back to work. If I got to go out again, or if I'll just sit at the computer and go through emails and really clean up because it's very important for me I'm a big believer in inbox zero. And so that's that. And then Saturdays are for the baby. And then I try to do at least one date night a week. Or it can be like a joint date night so we can also see friends or something like that.
Gotcha. Soft plug here, guys, by the way. Ryan has blessed us with anyone listening now. I posted a link in the Discord stage chat, but we also have it in our important links channel. Right there at the top, it ends 5 o'clock on Friday, 20% off on your course if you use that link. So, and I'm sure you go deeper into the finder, keeper, doer method and all the stuff you're talking about here, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, it's the course is, and we don't have to talk about it too much. I mean, the course is now, I started it 2 years ago. And we're now at almost 10,000 real estate agents as a part of it in 109 countries. And it's been awesome. And it's everything I know about how to sell. It's everything I know about how to build a sales career. And we have a lot of different ways to get involved. There's the general course, there's the membership, there's the social course, how to sell through social. It's how to sell in in the low inventory market. There's a lot of different things, worksheets, books. I mean, it's like a real curriculum on how to sell the way I sell and how to build a sales career the way I've done it. And then there's also a pro program for people that want to take that next step and, mentor with me and with my entire team. But yeah.
Awesome. All right. More community questions here. This one's interesting, and I'd be curious to hear. So, our realty question. I just finished my first year as an agent, and I'm tossing a bunch of cash at advertising. Zillow, Google, postcards, Facebook. I'm afraid to stop advertising because I think I won't get business. Am I just wasting my cash when I should be focusing on other things?
No, but you want to be smart about the cash. You don't want to spend it all. Okay, you want to be spending some money on advertising. But you also want to be spending a lot of money on PR, right? There's a mixture between PR and advertising. There's push and pull. Advertising is pushing your message onto other people. PR is pulling people into your message. So you could be advertising through social ads, okay? But then you could also be paying a publicist a small amount of money to help get you noticed in different local publications wherever you're based. You want people to see your name and associate it with selling, sales, luxury, homes, whatever it is, as many times as possible. So that when they do see your ad, or you do knock on their door, or you do call them, or they do meet you at a party, you're not a strange face to them. They say, yeah, I've seen you everywhere. When really, all they really did was they saw you on an Instagram ad, they got your postcard, and then someone else mentioned you because you sold that other house that one time. Like, that's not everywhere, but to them it feels like everywhere. And
because they're picking it up after they see your face once and then twice and then three.
It's the classic thing, right? You go to like the car lot, you want to buy a new car. Like, oh, dude, that car looks awesome. I haven't really seen that one before. You drive off the lot to think about it, and all of a sudden you're like, dude, everyone has that car. Actually, I don't really want it anymore. It's not like all of a sudden everyone went to go buy that same car. It's now all of a sudden you're thinking about it and you're focused on it. So when people think about you and are focused on you, it works. You could also go to haro.com, so help a reporter out, HARO. I used to do that a lot before I could afford my own publicists. And that was helpful because reporters will put ideas for stories and things, in the local markets out there. Or you can just look and say, hey, for example, I'm in Los Angeles. Okay, so the LA Times, or I'm in New York Times. Find the reporters that write about real estate, email them, compliment them on a recent article, and then offer up your services as advice on all things sales or all things real estate or whatever you do to them at any time. And then slowly stay in touch with them. And I bet you over time, eventually, that reporter will reach out to you and say, hey, I was just wondering, do you have any thoughts about like the short-term housing market? Do you do any Airbnbs? And all of a sudden you might say, actually, yeah, I do. I just sold one of those to an investor. And now you're going to be quoted in that publication. Now all of a sudden you can take that quote from that article and you can e-blast it. You can share it on social. You can put it into a direct mailer and you can put it on social ads. And now all of a sudden you are the agent who has been quoted in publications such as the New York Times, such as Los Angeles Times, such as your mama's blog post, whatever it might be. A big thing that we also work on too is something we call the Serhant brand strategy system, which is a 3-part program where you have to first figure out your consistent identity, right? So your core identity. Who are you? What is your and? You are real estate and what? Figure that out, okay? To be the one who sells what. Then you create consistent content. You put it across all platforms on platform specific, okay? And then you shout it from the mountaintop. No one's going to know that you're good at something if you don't tell them you're good at something. And you have to be okay with letting the world know. And it's okay. It is totally okay.
Wow. So my head is spinning right now just on the reporter thing. Not kidding when I say, guys, anybody listening, like I get a ton of value out of these. I never thought that, treat the reporters like a valuable relationship. That never even occurred to me to go reach out to people directly.
Yeah, of course. Just say hi.
Fantastic, man. All right, here's a good one. You always say follow-up is key to your business, right? Has there ever been a client that drove you so crazy that you decided not to follow up with them? That's from Real Estate Doctor, New Jersey.
Yes. A lot, actually. And more so now that I just have less and less time. Not so much in the early parts of my career because I was just desperate. And even if you were crazy, I needed to sell stuff to make money. So I would just deal with the pain. And that's okay, right? You eventually want to be able to set those people free to go work with other junior agents so that you can take on more higher quality people. But I've got buyers. They're just not real. They just will never buy. They're just nonstop shoppers. So I don't forever stop following up with them. I just don't keep them on my active follow-up list where I'm going to think about them every day. I just kind of push them out on the raft into the sea of life. And I'll keep them posted. They'll get the newsletter. I'll touch base with them here and there because it's free. And I will touch base with people until the day they die, right? It's buy or die.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not going to be anxious about them not getting back to me. And you also have to remember too that people have lives. They've got jobs. You think about anything you've ever bought, right? Like you might have been interested in buying shoes that time you were in the mall and you walked by the shoe store, but it
was the men's section of Macy's, Ryan, and they were light brown Alfanis, and I did end up buying them online with a sick coupon.
Exactly, you jerk. And but you might not have bought them, and you might not have thought about them every day going forward for the next 2 weeks. And it would be weird if that shoe store guy emailed you every day saying, "Hey, we got a new pair of brown Alfanis, and you want to come check them out?" And you're like, dude, no, I don't really need new shoes right now. It's just kind of, I never should have introduced myself to you, and it's going to be like that person. So, like I say all the time, people hate being sold, but they love shopping with friends. Don't ever try to sell anybody. Never try to sell anybody. Try to become someone's friend and talk about real estate with your friend. And when they're ready, or when you have an opportunity for them, they will come to their friend instead of going to someone they don't know.
Yeah. I like to tell people when I'm talking to them about this in the DMs that selling real estate isn't a personality trait. It's just it's a thing you do. So focus on forming those like-minded connections, which plays into another question I have for you. What is your opinion on fake it till you make it?
So I'm it's a tricky one for me. Like some people might say that I faked it till I made it when I got into the business. But I don't really think that was true because I never lied. I see people who fake it till they make it and they're lying. Okay, they say they own this Ferrari, but they don't. They're leasing it, or it's their dad's. They say they live in this cool apartment, or they take photos of it and put it on Instagram, but they don't. It's their mom's house. Like that's not faking it till you make it. That's just lying. For me, I've always been a big believer in like the power of positive energy, and if I create the idea of my own future today and start acting like that person now, then it'll happen in real life, because I don't want to leave anything to fate or to chance. And so like it's the whole idea behind something we talk about called future you. Like, how can I be future you today? Because my boss isn't my client. It's not my wife. I don't even have a boss, right? But I do. My boss is myself 2 years from now. That guy on September 22nd, 2023 is very concerned about what I'm doing right now, because what I'm doing right now really affects his life in the future. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing everything perfectly. I want to make sure that I'm being great today so that he has a greater life 2 years from now and is thankful. And if he could go back in time and pat me on the back, he would. I don't want him to be pissed off, right? Because you can't change the past, and everything you did in the past, I hope it was worth it, but it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's gone. It's over. It's dead. All we care about is the present, but also the future. And so I really, really live for the future. And so, when I first got into the business, I knew that one day I would have a Rolex. No way, I don't know, personal financial situations, but like I had no money. Like I was stressed out about $2,000. And the idea of spending $30,000 on a watch, which was like, 2.5 years of my rent at that time, wasn't even like in my brain. It was so it was like literally, Elon Musk goes to Mars. That's what I thought like buying a Rolex and being able to afford it was in 2008, 2009, 2010. But I knew that one day I'm going to be successful enough where I could have one. So I went to Chinatown and I got a fake one, a fake gold one. And it looked fake, but from a distance, it looked okay. And I would wear it, not all the time, but I would wear it. I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't go up to people and say, hey, look at my fake Rolex. But I would wear it kind of like my confidence, like my confidence blanket. And I would wear it because it would make me feel like, wow, one day this is gonna be real. And I would wear it, and sometimes I would hide it because it looked ridiculous. And sometimes I would just keep it on because it made me feel like I could be the type of person who could one day afford to spend this amount of money on a watch. And I'll never forget the time that I actually did go buy one. And I was walking through an airport, actually in Florida on the way back from somewhere. And I wasn't even in the market to buy one. I wasn't even thinking about it at that point. And I walked by a jewelry store in the airport, okay?
The worst place to buy anything.
In Florida, exactly. And I walked by it, and I saw this rose gold Daytona. And I don't know anything about watches, and I saw it there. I was like, you know what? I could totally fucking buy this right now. And I walked in there, and I was like, is that thing for sale? And they said, sure. And they put it on. They asked me how much it was. And it was like $32,000. And I just remember not negotiating. It's like, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time where I could walk by a watch store and just buy a Rolex and not even think about it. And I bought it. And I put it on a credit card. And I was so terrified. I didn't wear it for like a really long time. I kept it in the box. I like cleaned it every day because I thought it was going to get hurt. It it was just so freaky to me. But anyway, like you could say I was faking it with that fake Rolex, or you could say I was projecting into the future that one day this fake thing on my wrist will be real. And I'm not going to lie about it, but I'm going to make sure that this token that is weighing me down and turning my wrist green will one day be real. And I'm okay with that. And I think that's totally okay.
Sweet. Sweet. So don't fake the luxury items, but fake the mindset and the activity of someone and what they would be doing if you were at where they are. Right?
Yeah, think about like Mike Tyson, right? You want to be the champ, start acting like one. You want to be the boss, start acting like one. You want to get a promotion, start acting like an employee who just got a promotion. Don't sit there and complain. Don't sit there and wait. Don't sit there and ask for a handout. Don't sit there and watch the news and complain about how bad life is in the world. Oh my God, and da 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 da. Start acting today like the person you want to be in the future, and write that down. Like, an exercise that I do with people is I'll have them write down on paper an incredibly detailed list of who they are 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Write down what you're wearing. Where are you sitting? What house are you in? What city are you in? How much money do you have saved? How much money do you have invested? Do you even have any money? What are you doing? Are you still selling real estate? Are you a barber? I don't know. Like, be as detailed as you can. How much gas do you have in your gas tank right now in your second car, if that's what you want? Where do you want to be? Be realistic. Don't say, oh, I'm a billionaire on my yacht with Jay-Z off the coast of, Monte Carlo. Like, that would be awesome, but that is so far and away outside the realm of reality, I think, for most people, that doesn't make any sense. It's not going to help you. Pick a realistic goal to get to where you'd like to see yourself at that point in time. Fold up that piece of paper and put it in your pocket until it happens. Put it in your purse until it happens. And I'm telling you, if you do this the right way and you think about it a little bit every day, the person you wrote down on that piece of paper will be nothing compared to the person you're actually going to end up becoming.
Hell yeah, man. I'm looking. I have my own little set of goals and priorities, and kind of like the Jim Carrey thing, write yourself a check. And I literally have it pinned right here above my computer where I spend all my time. So I'm always looking at it, and
Nice.
it's always close by.
Nice.
All right, so Andy_55 asks, hi Ryan, thanks again for coming on to the Discord. I'm marketing towards 2 to 8 multifamily homes currently and plan to move up towards and take the skills I'm building now to source bigger commercial multifamily down the road. My question is, how did you transition into the sale of development, and how did you develop that side of your business? I know you have a great story about earning the business of a developer. I can't remember if he was your first one, the guy with the bookshelf, you remember?
Yeah.
Was he your first big developer client?
He was not. He was a.
How'd you land the first one?
The first one. Well, my first developer ever was a small project because you got to start small. Listen, I'll tell anybody, like, the way to get into development or the way to get into luxury is not by pitching for the business those top brokers want. Why would you ever try to compete for that stuff? Like, you're not going to get it. And if you do, awesome, but you might not know what to do with it. So go after what other people don't want. So there was a building, 230 East 63rd Street, 6 units. The current agent had sold 2 and had basically been at odds with the current developer, and no one else really wanted the building because they were really tough units to sell. It was right off the 59th Street Bridge. It was like really, really tricky, and it's like a boutique little building, and those are hard to sell in New York. But I'd never done a new development before ever. And so I got introduced to the developer by a general contractor, and that was my in. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to get these. Somehow I'm going to sell them. I'm going to bust my ass for them because no one's going to know that they were hard. No one's going to know that the building was small unless I tell them. I want to be able to say that I've done new development, and I've done it on the Upper East Side. That way I could say, I just sold out this project uptown. Now let's talk about yours. Because no one's ever going to look. No one's going to care. They're not going to go into the details. It's like the biggest, you want to get into the luxury market, never talk about the deals you've done that are less expensive than the most expensive deal you've ever done. If the most expensive deal you've ever done is $800,000, but you're mostly doing $200,000 to $300,000 sales, only talk about the deal that was 800. And I always say, well, I just sold this thing for 800. I just sold this thing for 800. No matter how long you have to say just until you do the next big one. But anyway, 230 East 63rd Street. I eventually got that building just because I told him I would do anything. I was like, I'll live here, whatever I need to do. And I got that one and sold that. My first big project, though, was 442 apartments in Lower Manhattan with a tough developer. And I got that meeting because I found buyers on Craigslist that actually bought in one of the developer's other buildings in Long Island City, Queens. And they were apparently having a really hard time on this building in Lower Manhattan. And this was 2009. And they were like, I don't know where you get your buyers from, but maybe you should come in and talk to us about our building downtown. I was like, what? Really? A huge building? Me? Are you serious? And I walked in there totally stressed out, very nervous, like, my one suit. This was a huge institutional developer, Madison Avenue office. He came in, his watch was very real. Like it was a very, very intense meeting. And I just sat there and I said, listen, there is no other broker better to sell this project than me. I believe in this so well, I will tattoo the name of the building in my chest. And I just stared at them and they stared back at me. And I think they just thought I was so crazy that they gave it to me. Obviously, I had to pitch for it. I had to tell them everything else we did, marketing, all that stuff. But I ended that meeting by looking that guy in the eye, this older, rich, intense developer, and telling that. And I just remember him smirking a little bit. And then I think looking at the people around him that worked for him, saying like, you want to give this massive deal to this insane kid? Like, really? But they took a risk on me and I got that building. And from that one, the rest kind of fell like dominoes. It's like anything, right? Once you have success in one thing, you get the next thing because other developers then want to know, oh, you sold that? Can you sell mine? Oh, you sold that one? Can you sell mine? And that's the same thing for resale, same thing for multifamily, same thing for commercial. As you're building your own personal brand, the more you can sell like other stuff, the more you will sell like that stuff.
Nice. That you had chutzpah, and he saw it. And beautiful hands, and he saw those too.
Yes.
All right. I know you got a hard stop at 6:45, so let me pick your brain with one more question. It's a two-parter.
Two-parter. Let's go.
Two-parter. One, what's next for Serhant, the overall brand? And I guess this kind of ties in, 2 years from now, your future Ryan, your future boss, what is he telling you to do today to accomplish that?
Oh my God.
I know, I don't throw softballs, man. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Listen, I want Serhant, I want the brokerage to be the biggest, greatest real estate brokerage in the history of the known universe. I will do everything possible to make that happen. Right now, I'm doing it by myself, surrounded by a great amount of people, but I will do everything possible to make it as great and big for a reason as I possibly can. I think there's a massive opportunity and an incredible window to do that. I'm a big believer in the agent brand first. I think that's what drives all the industry. And if you give agents a platform, but help them with your brand and get them a launching pad, then they'll learn with you and then they'll stay with you. Right? It's kind of like the Fender Stratocaster model. Like the number one selling guitar of all time and will forever be because they teach people how to play guitar. And then people always stay with them. Well, they also go out and buy other guitars, but they'll always come back to the Fender. And I really think that I can build Serhant to be a media powerhouse for all things real estate and a training powerhouse for all things sales and an amazing brokerage for the most, exciting real estate brokers in the world. And in a couple years, my boss, me in the future, is probably going to be saying, don't chicken out, open up in that market. I know you're nervous. I know you think agents are going to like you there. Open up in that market. That is going to be the pressure that I'm going to have on my shoulders is, do I really go to Denver? Do I really go to Phoenix? Do I really go to Dallas? And do I do it right now? Right? Am I really going to go open up in London where brokerage commissions are like 1%? Ugh. Like, am I really, really going to go to Paris? Am I really going to go to those places? My future boss is going to be pissed off at me if I do not grow and do not do that.
So, I mean, That's a soft leak right there. We have the inside scoop. I'm going directly to the real deal. You just laid out everywhere you want to open.
Good luck.
Well, listen, man. I want to just thank you for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule. I personally got a ton of value out of this.
Of course.
If there's ever anything I can do for you, man, or if you or anyone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, please contact me.
Listen, one day in the future, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a year, maybe never, I'm going to call on you for a favor. Okay?
Yes, my hands are very gross looking, though.
It's not going to be one of those.
Hey, awesome, dude. Well, I got your back.
I'll see you guys later. Thanks. This has been fun.
Thanks for coming, bro. Good luck with everything.
All right. See you, everybody.
And congrats to all our giveaway winners. They've been announced in the giveaway channel. I'll coordinate with the Serhant camp to get you guys those signed copies of the books. The winners are Bond Shark 007, Kevin S, SoCal Realtor, Andy _55, our very own Nick Puglia, who gave an all-star Facebook ads class last night, and Talhan. So congrats to all those listeners. Thank you, everybody, for attending. We did record this. We'll have a live recording up at some point. All that is new to me. It's going to first go up on YouTube, and then I'll see about maybe we can just get a podcast up on Spotify or something. Whatever. It's coming. We have the recording. I'll make it available somehow, some way. We have more of these events planned. Feel free to come to our weekly mastermind tomorrow at 7:30. It's going to be an open forum voice chat. So not just two people speaking and everybody listening. It's going to be in our voice chat channel. You're all going to be able to collaborate, ask questions. We have a chat up weekly mastermind question if you have topics that you want discussed there. And other than that, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you for spending your time with us. And if you or anyone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate, please contact me. Have a great night, everyone.